Greetings, Whiskey Woodsman. Welcome to Whiskey Whistle. I'm your host, Mark, and this is Whiskey Review number 98. Today we're going to be looking at a Campbeltown whiskey, or Campbeltown, however you like to pronounce the name of the town. This is one of three remaining Campbeltown single malt whiskey distilleries, and this one is called Glen Scotia. Glen Scotia, in fact, is owned by a medium-sized company, fairly large, called Loch Lomond. So Loch Lomond is the owner of the distillery, and they've recently done a little bit of repackaging and also some upgrading of the whiskey that's in the bottles. This one is called Double Cask, and we'll go ahead and get that poured. If you've noticed that I don't have any pictures today, it's just because the lighting is just not suitable for the iPad. That's really best for indoor. And whoo, there we go. That is, well, yeah, that's a good 35-40 milliliters. And beautiful bottle. I really love it. They've got a scene of Campbeltown or Campbeltown right there, kind of printed right on the bottle. So there it is. And I'm getting over my cold. If I do end up coughing a little bit, I do apologize in advance. Hopefully not. Now we'll let that get a little bit of air for a few minutes, and while that's happening, let's talk a little bit about this distillery, okay? First of all, it was founded in 1832, and they have two stills, so not a very large distillery. They have a capacity, I'm going to move over this way a little bit, avoid the sunshine. They have a capacity of about 0.6 million liters of pure alcohol per year. Okay, so hopefully that's still in the picture. I don't know if it is. Better move it back. There we go. I'll just crouch down a little bit. Okay, so it's got a couple of nicknames also. The distillery, when it opened, it was simply called Scotia. So it was known as the Scotia for quite a long time, the Scotia single malt, I guess, or the Scotia Distillery, and then it became known as Old Scotia. Okay, and the consensus is that the production volume will increase very soon. I mentioned that it's in Campbeltown. Anything else? Let's see. One of the owners, it was founded by Stewart and Galbraith and Company in 1832. 1891, it was bought by a person named Duncan McCallum, and he introduced some malting floors. 2014, bought by Loch Lomond. Okay, and the distillery manager, I had a nice picture of him, so you can't see that, is Ian McAllister. Be nice to meet him. They have 7 employees, and they're in the process of updating their dunnage warehouse. Sorry about the buzzing. Hopefully my voice is much louder than that. I'm in a different location because right next door to my parents, where we're staying, there's a bunch of construction going on. Okay, that smells pretty good now. Let's get on to the nosing, the tasting, and talking about the finish and the scoring, shall we? Before that, we'll have a very short advertisement right here. Welcome back. This is Glen Scotia Double Cask. It's 46% ABV. I forgot to mention that, I think. It's non-chill filtered. There's no mention of color on there, but given the casking, this may actually be natural color, and I hope that it is. It's got a very nice kind of a orange gold or brass, almost brass kind of a color to it. Okay, so on to the nose. It's quite malty. I smell some fresh grain bread. It's got a slight sherry sweetness to it, and some vanilla spice cake. And interestingly, I find this reminds me of caramelized sweet potato, which is really popular in Korea. Caramelized meaning that the sugars have been converted because of the heat. Anyway, so I've talked about that a couple of times before in the past, But anyway, hopefully you've tried that. If you're cooking sweet potato, get the temperature as hot as possible in your oven to allow some caramelization to occur. Of course, you don't want to burn them. Anyway, okay. It's got a very enjoyable nose. I find there's nothing that really is detracting from it at all. And even though it's 46% ABV, there is virtually no strong alcohol smell coming from it. So that's interesting. Onto the palate. Cheers, everyone. It's spicy and sweet, and then it develops a bit dry. It's very flavorful. Let's see. I get a lot of baked fruits, apricots, prunes, apples. This morning, it's actually morning here. This morning I'm getting just a hint of leather also. And very nice oaky vanilla flavors. Very lovely. And the finish, definitely some raisins, a little bit of sherry, a bit of sweet wine, and it's also a bit dry. Now, I just realized I didn't tell you very much about this whiskey. So let's see. How is this matured? Well, first of all, it's matured in traditional casks. Traditional casks means typically second, third, possibly older reused casks that that while they don't add a lot of direct flavors, they allow maturation to occur. Then it was put into first fill bourbon barrels for a period of time, and then finally into Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. So let's see. Our master blender handpicks every cask and finishes the precious whiskey in first fill bourbon barrels, and then finishes this outstanding single malt whiskey in Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. Okay. Anyway, so the sherry casks, excuse me, would give it a nice, hopefully, the color that we're looking at here. Okay. Okay, let's get on to this whiskey with a bit of water added. And I'll use just about half a teaspoon in there. There we go. A little bit less, I think. Good. And we will let that mix and meld. Oh, so I'm actually at my aunt's house. I rushed over here to try to get this done, and actually the last day here in Winnipeg. So I'll have to say goodbye to my family and my friends, and say goodbye to this lovely city. If you've never been to Winnipeg, make sure you come. Summer is best. Beautiful summers, dry and hot, very little rain, lots of sunshine, and there are beautiful beaches nearby, and also lots of activities to do in the city. So, okay, so that's about good, I'd say. Let's get on to the nose with water. That's Glen Scotia. We'll have a very short advertisement right here. Welcome back. Glen Scotia Double Cask with a little bit of water added. I find I get more fresh bread coming from the nose with water added. The sherry is a bit less pronounced. A little bit more of the earthy sweet potato caramel flavors, and I begin to notice the bourbon effect. So lots of the vanilla and caramel flavors coming through. Very nice. Okay, how about the palate? Cheers again. Gives you a much fruitier sweetness. Still a bit dry. And I'm getting some fruit candies, hard candies, as far as the flavor is concerned. And the finish, well, roughly the same, but I feel like I'm getting a bit of the aftertaste of fruit gummies, like gummy bears or gummy worms. It's a bit sweeter, still a bit dry, touch of dryness there, and maybe a hint of rosemary or mint. Okay. All right, so that is Glen Scotia Double Cask, and the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score. What's that going to be? Well, it's going to be quite high, in fact, and not sure why. Anyway, I didn't give the highest score to the palate. I'm going to upgrade that a little bit. You know, I write here it's very flavorful, and then I'm getting all these fruit flavors. And today I noticed a little bit of leather coming through. Whoa, bit of a wasp. Go away, wasp. Don't sting me. Oh, okay. I've got a little bit of an allergy to bee stings and wasp stings. Okay. Anyway, so it's going to be 88 out of 100. And I've mentioned here near flawless maturation, and also some very interesting flavors coming through. And so that's 87 out of 100, and I've given it a bit of a nickname, and this one is called Mr. PX Sherbon. Mr. PX Sherbon. Sherbon, sherry, and bourbon mixed together. Yeah. I don't know if that'll fly, but anyway, Mr. PX Sherbon. That may be the next name of my cat. Oh, I couldn't avoid coughing there. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. This was WhiskyWhistle. And if you would like to subscribe, please do so. There should be a link right around here that you can click on to subscribe. Don't forget to share the video and also like it to give me a bit of a boost on the YouTube, YouTuberverse, I guess we'll call it. Okay? Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you for Whiskey Review number 99. Goodbye.